In a secluded forest, a raven named Corvus is transformed into a humanoid crow with malevolent intentions. His desire for power and domination drives him to commit a series of grisly murders. With each kill, he drinks the blood of his victims, enhancing his strength and furthering his quest for global domination. His transformation and methods are shrouded in dark magic, making him a terrifying enigma. The locals begin to notice the rising number of mysterious disappearances and deaths, but the true nature of the threat remains hidden. Corvus moves to a nearby town, where his ability to blend into human society allows him to manipulate and murder with impunity. The town's residents are gripped by fear as the death toll rises. An investigative team is formed to solve the mystery behind the murders. The investigators are initially baffled by the lack of evidence, but they begin to suspect a malevolent force at work. Corvus's manipulative tactics create distrust and division among the investigators, complicating their efforts. The investigators start to identify patterns in the murders, hinting at a sinister, supernatural cause. Corvus, sensing their progress, becomes more audacious in his killings. His actions spark a wave of paranoia throughout the town. The team, now aware that they face a formidable adversary, seeks knowledge from local experts in folklore and the supernatural, discovering chilling details about Corvus's nature and goals. Corvus expands his reign of terror to neighboring towns, creating a broader impact of fear and chaos. The investigators, struggling to cope with the escalating violence, find themselves in a race against time. Their attempts to stop Corvus are thwarted at every turn, as he uses his dark powers to stay one step ahead. The towns affected by his terror fall into a state of despair, with citizens living in constant fear. Realizing the need for a more profound solution, the investigators seek out an enigmatic figure rumored to possess ancient knowledge and powerful rituals. This mysterious individual provides them with a potent artifact believed to hold the key to defeating Corvus. Equipped with this new tool, the team prepares to confront their adversary, but Corvus's increasing confidence and power make the task seem almost insurmountable. Armed with the artifact, the investigators set a trap to lure Corvus into a confrontation. However, Corvus, ever cunning, anticipates their moves and uses his dark powers to escape. The battle between the investigators and Corvus is fierce and destructive, with Corvus proving to be a nearly invincible foe. The investigators are forced to retreat and regroup, their morale shaken but not broken. With the investigators in retreat, Corvus's power grows unchecked. His reign of terror becomes more brutal as he consolidates his control over the regions he has conquered. The investigators, now hiding, search for new allies and strategies to combat the Psycho Crow. They uncover more about Corvus's origins and the nature of his dark magic, realizing that defeating him will require not just physical strength but also profound mystical knowledge. The investigators form alliances with ancient order members and mystical beings who have knowledge of Corvus's dark magic. They work together to uncover additional artifacts and rituals that could potentially weaken Corvus. The struggle becomes not only a battle against Corvus but also a race against time. As Corvus continues his campaign of terror, the stakes are higher than ever, with the world on the brink of collapse. A plan is devised to lure Corvus into a final confrontation using a false ritual as bait. The trap is set, and the battle reaches its climax as Corvus faces the full force of the combined efforts of the investigators and their allies. However, Corvus reveals a new, terrifying power that allows him to summon even darker forces to aid him. The battle is intense and chaotic, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The battle leaves a lasting impact on all involved. Corvus's new powers create a situation where the investigators must adapt their strategies. They regroup and prepare for a final assault, knowing that the fate of the world hinges on their success. The psychological and emotional toll of the conflict becomes apparent as both sides prepare for the ultimate showdown. With the artifact and newfound knowledge, the investigators launch a daring assault on Corvus's stronghold. The battle is fierce, with both sides deploying their most powerful abilities. The investigators face numerous challenges and obstacles, but their determination to end Corvus's reign of terror drives them forward. Corvus, desperate to maintain his power, unleashes his full fury. As the battle reaches its peak, sacrifices are made by both the investigators and Corvus's minions. The artifact's power is put to the ultimate test, and the true nature of its abilities is revealed. The conflict becomes a high-stakes struggle for survival, with both sides pushing their limits. The emotional and physical toll of the battle becomes evident as the final confrontation unfolds. In a climactic showdown, the investigators manage to weaken Corvus significantly. The final battle is a desperate fight for dominance, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. The true nature of Corvus's powers and his ultimate goal are revealed, leading to a dramatic and intense conclusion. The resolution of the conflict comes with significant consequences for all involved. With Corvus defeated, the world begins to recover from the devastation. The investigators and their allies work to rebuild and restore order. However, the scars of the conflict remain, and the new world order is shaped by the events that transpired. The survivors must navigate a changed world and address the lingering effects of Corvus's reign of terror. Even after Corvus's fall, remnants of his dark influence continue to affect the world. The investigators face new challenges as they deal with the aftermath of the conflict and the lingering effects of Corvus's malevolent magic. The struggle to restore balance and ensure that no remnants of Corvus's dark power remain becomes a central focus. The impact of Corvus's actions on the world is explored in depth. The story delves into the long-term consequences of his reign of terror and the ways in which his influence continues to affect various aspects of society. The legacy of Corvus becomes a central theme as the world grapples with the changes brought about by his actions. A new threat emerges, linked to the remnants of Corvus's dark magic. The investigators must confront this new menace while dealing with the ongoing challenges of rebuilding a shattered world. The return of shadows from the past creates a sense of urgency and danger as the survivors face a fresh wave of darkness. The new threat reaches its climax, and the survivors must mount a final defense against the forces of darkness. The battle is intense and personal, with deep connections to the events of the past. The resolution of this new conflict is crucial to securing a future free from the shadows of Corvus's influence. With the final threat vanquished, the world begins to enter a new era. The survivors reflect on the lessons learned from the conflict and the changes that have occurred. The story explores the themes of hope, renewal, and the rebuilding of society in the wake of devastation. The final volume wraps up the overarching narrative, tying up loose ends and providing closure to the story. The legacy of Corvus and the impact of the conflict are fully addressed, offering a satisfying conclusion to the epic saga. The world has changed, and the story ends with a reflection on the journey and the future that lies ahead.